Good evening, everyone. How you doing? Welcome to tonight's stream. Bit of Train Simulator Classic, I thought, tonight. And why not? We've got a good one, actually, for tonight. How's everyone doing? Transport Legend, good to see you. Hope you're well. Mr. Water, glad to see you got your old name back. It got a bit confusing with all your other names coming up. So yeah, that's good. Hope you're well. Right, so we got Dovetail Direct tomorrow, haven't we? Hopefully, most of you are excited for that. It's the big event of the year, isn't it, for Dovetail? So let's see, shall we? That is at, just so we'll go through the admin. That is at 3 p.m. UK time tomorrow over on Dovetail's channel. So yeah, go and check that out tomorrow, and then straight after that, I will be putting up a sort of recap video because there's probably a lot to take in. So I've got a recap that will come up afterwards. That might make a little bit more sense to you. So give that a watch. I think that's from about 4 o'clock tomorrow. I'm allowed to show you that. So. Barrow says adverts. Dovetail Direct equals TSW5, TSW5 equals TSW6, TSW7, TSW8, etc., etc. Yeah, some people have got that opinion, but you don't know what's coming up yet, Transport Legend. So I would reserve judgment until tomorrow, and then we'll have a chat about it. So, you're in now, Farah. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, you got hacked. Yeah, I saw that. Right, okay. So here we go. So what we're going to do is we're on the brilliant Cumbrian Coast and Furness Railway. This is by On Track Simulation. So this is not one of the standard routes from Steam. This is my neck of the woods. And soon as I got a PC and I got Train Simulator, I wanted to get this, but there's quite a number of requirements to get this. I've got everything now apart from one, and it's a pretty big one because there's a third-party route that I need that provides a couple of viaducts. So there'll be a couple of times Ironside Viaduct. And at Dalton, I think it is, at Kent's Bank, sorry, you'll see the train fly across the water because there is a viaduct there, but it's not there because I haven't got the assets for it. So if you can put that out of your mind, then it shouldn't ruin the experience, because the rest of it is a really nice route, and I think you'll enjoy it. I've also, as you can see, I've got some of the Armstrong Powerhouse stock as well. I've spent about 150 quid in about 2 weeks. But I had to get the 37 pack. I've got pack 1, which was about 30 quid of that. But honestly, it really does transform it, no matter what anyone says. It's expensive stuff, but if you play it a lot, you'll get your money's worth out of it. So we'll get into that. Sam, how are you? Good evening, Animal. So, right, we're going to do 2C32, which is Carlisle to Preston. We're not running from Carlisle. This route goes between Preston and Millom, which is just north of Barrow and Furness. So we're starting off from Millom tonight on this one. It's a nice early morning run. The scenery is awesome, it really is. Such good fun, this one. Jason, how are you? Question of the day: am I totally daft for putting up Halloween stuff in August? Probably. That's a strange one. Any particular reason, Transport Legend? Right. Now what we can do... Oh, let me read this out first. Good morning, driver. You're currently approaching Millom. Well, we're not, and I'll explain that. Working 2C32. You'll need to apply the brakes shortly for the first stop of your trip. You'll then continue south to Preston. Please note there are some request stops on this route. Check the briefing for further details. So we're not... It's meant to be a rolling start. Let's just take a look outside. It's meant to be a rolling start, but it's broken. So I had to take that out. So just ignore the bit about the rolling start. We are just outside Millom, but we'll get the thing going. And it looks great, doesn't it? It really does. And this is all the AP stuff. Now, the other thing we can do with this, if I can remember how to do it, we can turn the clag right up to 10 as well. As we get photo-bombed by a Northern Rail service. Wow, where did that go? You see that? It disappeared. That's odd. Oh, that's because it's a portal. It's the end of the service. Yeah, the clag I've turned up, so you'll see a bit of smoke coming out of the top. But let's get driving it, shall we? Because that's what we're here for. So the AP ones are a little bit more interactive. You can do a little bit more with these. I'll put it in forwards. We'll have the headlight on. Route indicators. Turn the tail lights off. We don't need those. Instrument light. Got the cab light, which is quite bright, but we don't need that. We can open the windows too. And then I can turn that on. Just keep me up to date on the sound as well when we set off, because I've been tinkering around with it a little bit, so I don't quite know if it'll be too loud or not, but just let me know. Right, actually let me take the brake off with this. So the brakes are coming off. We'll go outside and have a look at the clag, shall we, when we set off? We're all ready to go. Look at that. That's like a proper 37, isn't it? Right, so we're approaching Millom first. Go back inside for a little bit. Yeah, 4070. This isn't the 37 at no. I was sticking with the stock 37s that come with TS Classic, and being as the 37's one of my favourites, I thought I'll splash out on the Armstrong Powerhouse pack, and then unfortunately what that means is you then splash out on like the 156 pack, so you can see it coming the other way, and the 150/2, and you end up, before you know it, spending a fortune. So, but it is what it is. I tell you what, I've had a lot of fun playing this game that I didn't think I would have, and I think it's because people are creating routes like this one, and they can upload them, and a lot of them are free, and as long as you've got the requirements, a lot of them are free, which is always quite nice. Hopefully I'm in the platform. Let's have a look. Scenery just gets in the way a little bit. Yeah, we're good. Hope everyone's doing alright. What monitor have I got? I've got two. Actually, this is the first time I'm streaming with two monitors. So I've got an Odyssey G7, which is now my main monitor. And then I've got a Think Vision Lenovo T27P, I think it's called. I've got two. They're both 4K. They're both quite nice. But see, that's good. You get the Guide's whistle as well, which is quite nice, isn't it? Right, let's get the brakes off. Next stop is Askham. You can change the horn as well. I think there's 6 different types of horn, which is great. So if you're a big fan of 37s, then this is your type of thing, I think. Just let me know about that sound. Hopefully it's alright. See, even look at this little aerial on the front. vibrating as we go. I don't think the signals have got numbers. Have they got numbers? No, I was going to do the GSMR, but the signals don't have numbers until we get, I think, to the main line at Carnforth. The flux capacitor, yeah. Would you recommend the ATS 745 $37.99? It is pricey, isn't it? I haven't got it. One thing I did get last night from Alan Thompson Sim was the Northampton loop for the West Coast Main Line South in Train Sim Classic, which was the missing loop from the original West Coast Main Line South from Dovetail. And I've been having a bit of a play on there as well. That's quite good. But yeah, the flirt is really seems expensive. Needs more thrash, says Jason. Let's do that from the next station, shall we? We'll do that. Sam says, give it the big one. Sound seems okay, good. Sam likes the idle sounds in the cab. Sounds enticing to drive. Yeah, it is. It is. It's really good. So it did say there were some request stops, so I'll have to keep an eye out for that. And I do have a 20 coming up, so I'll have to keep my eye on that as well. All beans ahead. That is the warning for the speed reduction. I think the distance thing is to do with, I think it is gonna give me a request stop somewhere, Transport Legend, and then after that request stop, I think you'll see it start to come down a little bit. It might ask me to stop at Green Road, which is just ahead, so we'll see. Hey look, there's a train spotter there. Look at that guy. Sat on his car bonnet. Is it possible to play TS Classic with a console controller like PlayStation or Xbox? You can. You can do that, and you know me, I tend to... Old habits die hard, and I tend to play everything with a controller, and I did start as well with this on a controller, but I just couldn't get into it with a controller, so I ended up going back to keyboard and mouse. I think for this game it suits a keyboard and mouse a little bit better, so I don't know, but you definitely can. Clear to proceed through Green Road. Right, so now I think the Askham countdown might begin. So nobody obviously wants to get off at Green Road. So if I go to the 8 camera and we just go to the end of the platform. There's the barriers going down. Hope I don't get any alarms now. What have we got on the back? We've got 402 on the back. Stephen Middlemore. Right, shall we thrash it a bit? David, how are you? Good evening. Sam wants a PC so badly. Yeah. Looks great, doesn't it? Don't want to miss the AWS allowance. I don't know how many there are actually on this route. Still stuck at 3:15 on the distance, so we must have another request stop coming in. In fact, we can probably cheat. No, it doesn't mention it. It says Askham is the next one. It says Askham is the next one, so... Good evening, KH. How are you doing? A Scotty dog tractor. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. How are you doing, KH? Anyway, you alright? Right, we've got another 20 coming up before Foxfield. Put a bit of brake in. Doesn't it have the same controls like Train Sim World, so you can just look around and press the switches? You can. Of course, the only thing you can't do in Train Sim Classic is get up and walk around. You can fly around, but you can't go out anywhere on foot like you can in Train Sim World. But yeah, all the buttons are all clickable. You see, this is why it's a little bit better with a mouse. Can you see? If you're doing the GSMR, you can click all these buttons. Everything's clickable pretty much. But like I said, this is the AP version, so you get a little bit more that you can click anywhere with these. They're a bit more study level, these ones, and they come with a decent manual as well, which is quite nice. Right, we've got Foxfield coming up, so we may have another request stop. Farah, looking forward to tomorrow's DTG announcement. Yep. Everybody watch that. Everybody do watch that. You can go inside the coaches with camera 5, as you can see there, and you can kind of look out the window. But that's about the only passenger view that you get. Right, we've got a request stop here at Foxfield. So I'm not sure how much forwards we need to be. I suppose the engine needs to be on this little... There's a stop marker there, but I think I need to make sure the coaches are in the platform. Let's try that, shall we? There we go. Sorted. Let's have a look at Foxfield while we're here. I mean, look at the scenery. This is the Lake District Peninsula over here that you can see. I mean, it's pretty good. There's a lot of detail in this. Honestly, it's brilliant. I've actually been on this train as well a couple of years ago. I don't think they're running up and down there now, but they did for a while. And that was good fun. Right, shall we fresh it? There you go. Of course, I've got a 20 at the moment, so keep the speed down for a little bit. Usually use the local brakes for coming into stations. What, even when you've got coaches behind you? Sam? Main consist brakes you only need at higher speeds. But does the train brake not give you a more what's the word? Consistent. It applies the brakes consistently, doesn't it, across the whole train? Keep doing that too. I keep moving my mouse from one screen to the other and then forget I have to click back on my other monitor to use the monitor. So I'm trying to accelerate looking at Streamlabs and Train Simulators on the other one. I need to get used to that. What DTG announcement? 3 PM tomorrow, KH, on Dovetail's channel. Have a look at that. It's like a yearly update they've started doing now, kind of like a, you know, summing up. They're talking about what's coming up next and what the plans are and that kind of thing, so it's worth having a listen to. Right, I must have another request stop coming up. Okay, yeah, I didn't realise that. I thought if you were pulling something behind you, you had to use your train brake the whole time. Cumbrian Furness is the station that we're approaching next. Animal tends to use emergency brake at stations. Yeah, if you don't know which brake to use and it's getting a bit hot, use the emergency every time. That's what it's there for. Right, I'm just coasting at the moment. I have a feeling we're going to get stopped. We'll get stopped or we'll get waved past. I don't know which. Thanks everybody for coming in though, I appreciate it. I'm trying to read the chat inside of Streamlabs on my right hand monitor, which is a little bit different than what I'm used to. I'm kind of having to look directly across to my right rather than usually I have it in front of me. But I'll manage. We have a request to stop at Cumbrian Furness. Right, we better get the anchors on then. because this is Cumbrian Furness, which is quite a nice station too. Yeah, I'm just not sure of the stopping points because of the engine. That one seems to be alright. Mary Queen of Scots. I've got this livery in, if you remember, I've got this livery in TSW as well, from the Creators Club, which I use quite a bit. Right, the Askham stop is now counting down, so that must be our real next stop. So that's good. Tell them to stick their request, yeah. I think some of these stations are so small, though, up this line, that if you don't say, you don't get. Alright, let's have a quick look at the schedule, actually. So we've got Askham, Barrow, Roose, Dalton, Ulverston, Cork, Kentsbank, Grange, Ironside, Silverdale, Carnforth, Lancaster and Preston. It's a decent run. It's about 2 hours in total, just over 2 hours. Jason requests that it's bad. My track record in TS Classic is no better actually than it is in TSW. You won't be surprised to find out. You wonder why the 37's thrashed like that? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Nice though, aren't they? They look nice in this game. They look nice in TSW as well. The only difference, like I said, the only difference with TS Classic is, because it's been going a long time, there's a lot more places you can drive them, like this. And this route is free, which is boring me. I mean, yeah, you need all the requirements, but the route's free. Right, Askham is ahead. It's just over a mile. Not as nice as the 31. Yeah, the 31's quite nice, I must admit. That is, in TSW, the 31, you might remember, is one of my favourites that we've got in TSW. I would agree with that, Animal. And there is also a Class 31 enhancement pack by Armstrong Powerhouse again, which is 15 quid, which I haven't got, which I've resisted at the moment. But I'm going to end up getting the lot eventually. I just know I am, over time. I keep having to think of an excuse to treat myself that I don't feel as bad, you know. I think train simming is not a... It's not a cheap business, is it? Cost you a few quid. This is Askham. Got to go onto the crossing, I think. Just slightly. See if the doors... Yeah, the doors are opening. If you don't get it just right in TS Classic, the doors won't open. That's the thing. Oh, you've got that enhancement pack, Animal. Yeah, I want the lot, but just shelling out for it. Yeah, exactly right, Animal, yeah. It does. It does. Right, on to Barrow. Anybody been to Barrow, by the way? It's a strange place. They also build submarines there, by the way. If you didn't know that. I've hardly ever been to Barrow when the weather isn't miserable. So in Train Sim Classic we can have the weather like this and it'll look nice in Barrow, but usually it's a bit grim. Did it not once win an award for the most grim northern town? I'm sure it does. I'm sure it did. Not long ago. I'm sorry if we've got any residents of Barrow in the chat. You can confirm or deny what I just said, and that's absolutely fine. David says you've got all the current AP stuff. Trick is to wait for sales. This is the thing, right? This is the thing. I was waiting for the sale, and I waited and I waited, and I knew there was a it was one of the bank holidays, I think in May, and last year they did a sale in May for the bank holiday, and then this year they didn't do one. So I have no clue when the sales are coming up. They don't do them that often, do they? But if you get any tip-offs, David, about when the sales are, let me know, because definitely I've got a big wish list, and the more I can save off it, the better. Animal, you got 31, and then you got the class 50. Yeah, I don't have the 50 yet. I also don't have that. There's the yellow for the speed reduction. Barrow with a furnace, yeah. A lot of the stations up here are with a furnace. We had Askham in furnace as well. Yeah. A friend of mine that I used to work with on the railway, actually, he lived in Barrow. That's how I know Barrow quite well. And he was a bit older than me, and he used to be kicking off because Barrow at one time used to be part of Lancashire, and then they made it part of Cumbria, and he hated it. He absolutely hated it. He even ran a little... I can't remember what the group was called. There was some... not protest group. There was some campaign... It was a campaign group to try and get Barrow back into Lancashire. I remember. Because we used to wind him up. Because he used to want to listen to the football on a Saturday. and he couldn't get BBC Radio Lancashire. He had to listen to BBC Cumbria, and all he got was Carlisle, which was really quite funny. We used to wind him up. Right, here's the 30 across the crossing. We actually go off to the right here, if I recall correctly. Off to Barrow. You can see Barrow from your house. Yeah, you probably can. Yeah, you're right on the coast there, Jason, at Fleetwood. I bet you can on a clear day. Animal owns a Barrow. Very good, very good. KH says the sound of the locals bring back some happy memories. The best thing in Barrow is the road out of it. You see, for me, if I want to go for a quick trip on the train, actually, going from Preston up to Barrow, as you'll see going the other way now, the actual rail trip itself is quite scenic. It's a nice run. And I've still got friends up there as well. Sometimes I go for a pint with them, and I'll go up on a Saturday and take this run. Obviously not in a 37. Excuse me. But it's a nice run. So it's just sometimes a shame that Barrow is at the other end of it, but I shouldn't slag Barrow off too much. Right, 3.5 miles to Barrow. Ulverston. Yeah, Ulverston's a nice place. Stan Laurel. Stan Laurel is from Ulverston. In fact, his house has got a blue plaque on the outside. And there's a museum there as well. Laurel and Hardy Museum. It's actually alright. You blew the speakers off the TV. I know you said the TV was going back, KH. You're back to your 65-inch. You blew it up, ATSW. You've got to let DTG know about that. You blew up your TV by playing TSW. That's brilliant. So you were playing it out of the TV speakers then, which are usually not very good, are they? You don't have a soundbar then, or surround sound or anything like that. You were just literally using the TV speakers. They're usually a bit naff, aren't they? What size was it, that TV? 98-inch or something? I know it was. It seemed a bit ridiculous. I bet you had no wall left. Good job it didn't blow a hole in your wall when it blew up. Right, we've got a 10 coming up. So, drop a little bit of speed, then we're back up to a 60. There's 10 for a crossing, which we've got coming up ahead, I think. Got some workmen, looks like, so we'll give them the quick 1-2. Make sure they're off the track. We've got Animal there waiting at the crossing, look. In his truck. Or some speeding. Right, so we've got about 2.5 miles to Barrow. Ilkley Moor Bartat. Where's that? I think that's how the old Yorkshire song used to go. Wait, who's from Yorkshire? KH, you're from Yorkshire, aren't you, originally? You'll know about Ilkley Moor. Your pewter tankard bounced off the unit. Oh god, I can just imagine it now. Was it like having a poltergeist in your living room or something? Suddenly things just levitated and flew at you, and the cat ran out in desperation. Oh my word! I tell you what, you must have had it at a rum sound to make a tankard fly off. Let's be honest. Oh, it was 90-inch your TV. I knew it was somewhere in the 90s. I just couldn't remember. Can you even get an? I said 98. Can you get a 98? I don't even know. You're getting into professional footballers' territory there, KH, with that size TV. Right, preparing for Barrow. You're going to give us a toot, Animal, but he's eating your Yorkie, yeah. Don't start talking about chocolate again. Do not do that. Actually, where is Bourbons tonight? He's not come in, has he? He's usually the culprit that talks about biscuits and chocolate and all that good stuff. Do you know what I should do as well? I should save it. Just in case we have a disaster, because this is a long old service, this, or scenario I should say. I just realised I was braking whilst I was accelerating then. Which won't do us any good. Looking for the signals, some semaphore signals you see, which obviously, you know, to a beginner take a little bit more reading than just the light signals. Right, we do have a 15 coming up. I haven't got all the stock. We're talking about the Armstrong Power stuff. I haven't got all the stock for these scenarios, so I think if you watch somebody else run this that has this yard at Barrow over this side has got a little bit more in than this. What is that, a 156? That, or is it the 150? It's a 150, is it? That's another AP pack. I've got the 156 and I've got the 150/2 as well. But it will be a bit more busier if you've got a few of the packs. I will get there, just going to take me some time. you guys, I'm afraid, are going to have to keep watching the adverts. That's the only way. Right, this is Barrow. Actually, the football ground is behind us. I went there last year to watch Preston in a friendly. There you go. You see the floodlights there. There's the well, I was going to say the main stand. It's only got one. And Barrow are a league club again, aren't they? The last couple of seasons, they've been. I think they were non-league since the early 70s until just a couple of years back. Good evening, Tok. How you doing? Nice to see you. How did I get the Cumbrian Coast route? It's available. Well, it's made by On Track Simulations. Those are the devs that make it, and they quite kindly have put all this work into it and have put it up free. You can get it from the Train Sim community website, and I think you can get it. I think you can get it from On Track Simulations themselves. I tried doing that, but I think the website was down when I first tried it, so I got it from On Track, from the Train Sim community website. But I think they've fixed it since then. So yeah, but you can pick it up free. But there's a lot of requirements. So I've been working, all these routes, I've been working on getting the requirements for the actual routes, and then the scenarios, quite often I play the scenarios with a few things missing. I just make sure I've got the player train, and then I'll just drive it without some of the AI. So that's why it's a little bit quiet on this one, but it's still worth doing it. I mean, you can see the route. The route's great. Yeah, I thought you're from Yorkshire, KH. Right, off we go. Helps if I take the brake off instead of putting it on. And we're off to Roose, which is actually where one of my friends lives. His house is actually in the game, which is a bit mad. The Roose is not far away, just under 2 miles. Hey Richie, how are you? Good to see you. And Dave, good evening Dave. Hope you're both alright. Just having a bit of thrash, courtesy of the Cumbrian Coast and the AP Class 37. Right, we do have a 60 coming up, but Roose is right ahead of us. The speakers on your 4K LG a decent speaker? Yeah, I've got a 4K LG as well, but I got the soundbar that comes with it. I can't remember the name of it, but there's one that is made specifically for the LG, and it sits on like a little tray. Oh, hell! Right, the AWS just went off while I was outside. Yeah, I've got the soundbar that actually goes with it as well. So. Right. I think, yeah, we just need to wait a period and then the brakes come off themselves and we're underway, so that's quite easy in a 37, isn't it? Excited for tomorrow, as you can imagine. Yeah, I did, as you know, I did watch your predictions video the other night, which I always look forward to, by the way. And Dave's waiting for tomorrow as well. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, it says your old mate Steve, his TV's 125 inch. You must live in a castle or something. Nearly £6.5 grand. Wow. He can buy my Armstrong Powerhouse stuff then for me. Oh, you're in your cab or your animal? I didn't realise you were still going. Right, Roose is coming up. You do like a prediction video, you're right. Yeah, you do, Richie, yeah. Actually, yeah, Animal, you're right. I've not done an ETS2 one for a while. I'll sort that out. It's mainly because I was on my holidays. I was kind of I was around last week. I wasn't away, if you know what I mean. But I didn't do too much. The quietest 37 you've ever seen? Well, wait till we thrash it out of Roose, Dave. You'll hear it then. Because I'm coasting here into Roose. Your sevenfold folded on the first hurdle. Don't bet anything on Preston, Jason. You should know that by now. I've probably done a little bit too much coasting. Actually, we're going to be really late, you know. This is Roose. I'm surprised this isn't a request stop, actually, you know. It's usually quite quiet. Yeah, you see, I'm missing the end of the platform there, it looks like. You see that? So, as I said, right at the beginning, if you weren't here right at the beginning, there is a route. The Stainmore route, which is one of the requirements. That's the only requirement that I haven't got. And unfortunately, that does provide two quite big viaducts. One of them namely being Ironside Viaduct. So when we get to Ironside, you'll see me fly across the water with nothing underneath me. So you'll just have to ignore that little bit. It's just one of those things. It was 30 quid, and I don't know if I'll play the route. If I buy it, I don't know if I'll play it. It's a Steam route. I might do, but Right, Dalton's next. Dalton has a tunnel, and when I was on the railway, I spent many a Saturday night in Dalton Tunnel. Not for the fun of it. I was actually working. When I was a clerk for the civil engineers, we used to do bridge inspections and tunnel inspections, and yeah, Dalton Tunnel and Lindell Tunnel as well is on this route. Quite scary at night, honestly. Tok, you're looking forward to the Just Trains route? Yes, yes, indeed. Say no more, say no more. Still got brakes applied. No, it doesn't. Watch. If I hold, I'm holding the brake release now. If I let go, it goes to 20. So the brakes are not actually on. I don't know why it does that. If you look at the brake gauges, they're off. Right, Dalton in 2 miles. Steam route. Yeah, I like... I must admit, in TSW, I like steam. I like playing the steam routes in TSW. I don't know what it is about... Oh, ignore this, by the way. There's a landslip, look. Go through that. It disappears. Yeah, I can play Steam in TSW, but in TS Classic, I don't know. I just haven't got into it yet. I need to play it a little bit more. But I've nothing really against Steam at all. Tok, really. Just in TS Classic, I've not got into it. Jason's going to see if Richie is correct in his own head. Right, there was a signal number there, so I'm going to set up the GSMR once we get to Dalton. What do you think of the route, though? The route's really nice, isn't it? And I think you appreciate it even more if you've been up to this part of the world. You'll recognise it. You know, you're right with one, the rest is just wishful thinking. Everybody loves a good speculation video. Because everybody's in the same boat. Everybody's guessing, everybody's wondering. So I noticed you got very good numbers on that one, Richie. They're quite popular, aren't they, those? Certainly quaint. It is. It is. Bet Dave Melody's been up here a few times. I'm gonna hazard a guess. I was looking for... I've come out at a cemetery, but I was looking for Furness Abbey. That's what I was looking for. think I'm in the right place. You'd like to play TSC? Oh crap! Here we go. Combination of looking for Furness Abbey and reading the chat. Hang on a minute. Let me get this one under control. There you go. That is the train break, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, we'll probably stop short if I don't. Let's just move forward a little bit. Yeah, Tok, I was just saying you like to play TSC due to having way more steam and heritage diesels, but you don't have a suitable PC. Yeah, it is an expensive hobby when you're starting out. And it doesn't help the fact it's been out for 15 years, so lots and lots of stuff is there to tempt you. I mean, if you're coming into TSW now, I suppose it's the same as well, isn't it? Because there's quite a bit for TSW. And if you're like some of us that have been with TSW from the beginning, you've kind of built it up, haven't you? But if you were to go in now and say, I want that, that, that and that, it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you an arm and a leg, basically. Right, got to find my train now. Oh, there it is. That's better. Off to Ulverston. Yeah, played Call of Duty World War II, but you kept getting shot. That's the general idea, you know, that KH. Alright, okay, yeah, you went as far as Barrow. Yeah, I was just mentioning earlier about the submarines at Barrow, where they make them. Undershoot, yeah. It's usually the other way, isn't it? It's usually overshoot. You play TSC on the laptop? Yeah, of course you do, yeah. Play it on a laptop. I think, I'm going to take a guess. Did you used to play on a laptop, Mr. Water, if he's still there? I can't remember. Somebody else used to play on a laptop way back, I remember. Top, you've been on TSW for a while now. TSW2 was the first that you played, yeah. Definitely me and Dave got the TSW, the original one, which is 2018. I don't know if anybody else did. I think Farah, you might have been on that. Probably Jason, certainly. There's another asset that's missing, unfortunately, from the Stainmore route. You can see there's meant to be a little bridge across there, but it doesn't detract away from it too much. I think this is Lindale Tunnel, by the way. It doesn't detract too much until you get to the viaducts, and then it looks a bit daft. A little bit too fast through the tunnel. There we go. 3.3 miles to Ulverston. Richie, you've never played TSC before, which is quite surprising. Yeah, I thought looking at some of your videos you would have, because you're a big rail buff, aren't you? I thought you've maybe played it before. Top Sausage, how are you doing? I love that name, Top Sausage. a potato lappy can run TS Classic, you know, because you've got one. Excellent. Used to have a mate who was a 31 man and he travelled everywhere with the 31s. He had a way of knowing if his socks needed changing with being on the railway all the time. Right, let me concentrate on the driving for a sec. I'll come up to speed. Thanks everybody for coming in though and hitting that like button. Do appreciate it. Just while you're all in, don't forget tomorrow after the Dovetail Direct, take a quick look at the channel. I will have a summary of everything on there, which you might find a bit more digestible. Excuse me, let's say. So if you want to have a quick recap, come back to the channel, have a look at that. Not sure what I'm doing tomorrow night actually, but if I'm free tomorrow, I might go live again, I think, and then we can have a chat about it. Let's see. Farah, you've got all TSW games yet? I thought so. Have I gone over the viaduct? Not yet. Not yet. Dave, you don't like the new suspension on TSW? It doesn't seem real to me. I think I played the. I think the only one I've done is the Azuma, because I've been away. I went on the Azuma, and it was bouncing a little bit. I got used to it, but initially I thought maybe it was a bit too much. I just have to play it a bit more. Too much bouncing around on the straight track, yeah. Ulverston is coming up. I think if you know Ulverston as well, there is like a tower on a hill. I think it's called an ord. I'm sure that's what it's called. You can walk up to it. It's a monument to some guy, I think. I'm going to butcher it. There's a monument to some guy that lived in Ulverston, some quite famous guy. So famous I can't remember what his name is. But it's called the something ord, and you'll see it on top of one of these hills. And the devs have actually put it in, which is quite nice, because you can see it from the train way before you even get anywhere near it, so that's quite nice. They said we'll try and find it once we get to Ulverston. Need to brake a little bit. Never had a PC powerful enough to play it, plus your console buff. Well, yeah, and that's why I never had it before, because I've always been on console. I've not had a PC for a long time, and not just for this, but for various reasons, I decided to get a PC as well. Well, as you know, I made my own, put my own together to save a few quid, and so it's allowed me to play this as well. So, but I know what you mean. You can spend your time on your PC and on your console and not end up doing anything else. I have to balance it, or else I get it in the ear off the missus. Right, Ulverston is coming up. No, I'm not going to budge. You know I can't budge. You guys have known me enough to know that I can't budge. Right, Ulverston. Last time I went to Ulverston, actually, they had some... I don't know what the connection is, but there was some Charles Dickens reenactment thing going on, and everybody was dressed in old Victorian clothing. I don't know if Ulverston is famous for some kind of Dickens festival or something like that, but there was literally hundreds of people. I thought I'd gone back in time. That's how many people there were. Must be famous for it. At least just once a year, and I happened to go there on the day that they were doing it. Quite by accident. But it's a nice place, Ulverston. It's alright. So we'll have a look while we're here. Welcome to Ulverston, the historic market town. There's a big slope that comes outside the station. Oh, yeah, there it is. Up to the hill. It's amazing when they recreate things in routes that you've seen before. It's really weird. I was a little bit like that with Blackpool branches when, you know, Preston was first in it, and Blackpool, really. There's the Ord on top of the hill that I was telling you about, right there. You can see it on the skyline. Now, if I can zoom over here, somewhere... it's not far from the railway. I'm going to say here is Stan Laurel's house, and it has a blue plaque. And literally that's how far it is from the railway, because you come down this road. Been there a couple of times as well. There you go. You can visit his house. You can't get in. It's privately owned, but yeah, it's there. Right, let's go to Cork. Sorry about the voice. It's breaking up a little bit. Should have brought a drink with me, I think. We can get out of these bushes. There we go. Gonna get a PC towards the end of the year. Excellent. Yeah, I don't think you'll regret it if you want to play this game. This is... I play this game... I know it sounds really weird, but... I actually just enjoy this playing it on my own. Whereas TSW, I like to play it with you guys. At this one, I just like mostly to just run up and down. There's so many routes you can get. And there's a lot of freeware you can get from like the Steam Workshop. People have created routes. Like, for example, the West Coast Main Line over Shap, which is a DTG route. Someone's created the Windermere branch. I remember doing it on one of the early videos that I did for TS Classic. And you can go to lots of places you've been in real life. It's weird. And you start looking around and you find a route that's available and you think, I'm going to get that. And then you just get the requirements and there you are. You can just run up and down. Like this. This is a really nice run, this. And the scenarios for this, the scenarios for the 156, there's the ATS 185, which I haven't got yet. I think that's 20 quid on the ATS website. But you'll end up spending a lot of money, as I say, but you'll enjoy yourself with it, though. So, yeah, you won't look back. Your wallet might look back, but you won't. Right, Cork is just under 5 miles. You once went to Leeds and it was full of blokes dressed as bananas. Dave dresses like that every day, don't you, Dave? John Barrow Monument, is that what it is? See that? You say John Barrow, that doesn't even ring a bell with me, and I thought I knew. I bet Gilly knows. Gilly's there. How you doing, Gilly? Gilly will know Ulverston. In fact, are you in Ulverston, Gilly, or am I making that up? Somebody that comes into the chat lives in Ulverston, and I can't remember who it is. I know Gilly's got connections to British Leyland, as I recall, but I can't remember, Gilly, if you're in Ulverston. I've probably got that completely wrong. It is weird seeing him in the game, yeah. Very odd. Have you got permission to venture that far north? Are you on Windows 10? Not 11. Oh, right, here's the first of the missing viaducts. I think this is Kent's Bank. Is it Kent's Bank? Just ignore it. That's pretty neat though, isn't it? Hey, do you want to look underneath the 37, look? So it just so happens that that one and Ironside are missing because I haven't got the 30 quid route. But that, I think that and a couple of bridges, little bridges going over the top, are the only things it adds. But it's a shame. I'll probably get it eventually, but I've spent that much money just recently. I just hope you guys will forgive me for that and just enjoy the rest of it. Oh yeah, of course, yeah, Richie. You will also have to get ETS and ATS, and then the spending begins all over again. That is true. Yeah, suspension KH it just came in last week in the update. It's a bit bouncy though. Oh, your boy lives in Ulverston. I'm sure you mentioned Ulverston before. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. Back to the Future Part 4, yeah. Cockermouth and Carlisle, got you. How on earth? It's just that it needs the Stainmore route. It needs a route that costs 30 quid. And what it does, it must borrow the viaducts, the assets for the viaducts. It borrows them from that route. But obviously that's another 30 quid. And I actually did... the reason I know that, I pinged Tom, Jason, and I asked him. I said, why have I got no viaduct? And he said, you're missing the Stainmore. Laserjet, good evening. How you doing? Sai, good evening. Right, Cork is in a mile. Hope everybody's enjoying it. I told you it's a good run. See what I mean about TS Classic? It can be quite relaxing. So on track simulations have done this. They've done this one. They've done the northern lines, which is kind of like Preston to Blackpool. They've done Northern Lines 2, which is electrified. So there's a diesel version, an electrified version, which is a bit more modern. And they've done the Harrogate Loop as well, which you may have seen me play a little bit on a video. That also needs lots of requirements, but yeah. There's another bridge missing, by the way. Stainmore again. But yeah, they've done some good stuff. And so I was mentioning to Jason about Tom, and Tom is a member of On Track Simulation, and he's also Just Trains. So you can kind of see the quality there. Because they did Blackpool branches, didn't they, as well? Parking Cartmill. Oh, you're off, KH. Yeah, no problem. Look after yourself. Don't forget Dovetail Direct, 3 p.m. tomorrow on Dovetail's channel. If you want to find out all the latest and greatest, keep your eye on that. Right, off to Kent's Bank with a puff of smoke. You find it odd that you need requirements for a viaduct. It's because that's I think that's how these routes are free, because you've already had to pay for the things that it's made up of, if you will. So some assets are borrowed. Not all of it. They do create things themselves, but some assets are borrowed. It's usually, you know, as I understand it, a little bit easier to ask somebody else that's already created them if you can use them in your route. And so what I expect is that they've been allowed to use the viaducts, because the Stainmore route is based in this area. So I assume that if they agree that those assets can be used, what it means for them is that people will have to buy their route to get the assets, which is what I haven't done at the moment. So it's like a tit for tat thing, really. You've been at the Paignton Dartmouth Steam Railway today. Nice, nice. Kent's Bank is next. Have a quick look at the schedules. We've got Kent's Bank, then Grange, Ironside, Silverdale, Carnforth, another place I know well, of course, Lancaster and Preston. And that'll do us. So it'll be a good run. What have been live an hour and a half so far, so once we've had the Dovetail Direct out, as I said, my video will then go up afterwards. If I can be live tomorrow night, I will do. If for some reason I'm not, make sure you all let me know what you think. So just drop a comment in any of the videos. I won't mind knowing if it's what you expected, any surprises, anything you couldn't have ever guessed, that kind of thing. It's quite an exciting day though, isn't it? Tomorrow. Kent's Bank, nice little station. I think we're good here. Let's see. Yep, excellent. Right, let's have a quick look at Kent's Bank, shall we, while we're here. The sheep are out there, grazing away. Bit remote, isn't it, on this coast? Oops, got all the proper signage as well with the furnace line, the northern signs. It's a really nice job. Oh, size going for the ATS, ETS. It has to be done, doesn't it? I mean, that's another game like this one. Well, I say that's another game. ATS and ETS both are games where it can be like this. You can lose yourself in it for a little bit. You sit down and you think, I'll just play for an hour. Then you end up a couple of hours later, you're still sat there. Range Oversands. This is where my mum and dad went for the honeymoon. Range Oversands. Nice little town. You went to Grange Oversands for a geography trip. You can see actually the distance there. You can see the station buildings there. That's the station. There's a few nice places on this route, as I said. Because when I was on the railway, after I was at Preston and I worked at Carnforth, I'll show you the building. I've probably showed it you before, but it's still there at Carnforth now. Me and those aforementioned friends that I used to work with, because we looked after the route as part of what we did between Carnforth and Carlisle up this coast, every time we went out for a drink, we went to a different station on the line and worked our way up so that we went somewhere different every time. And Grange was one of the nicer ones. May have gone slightly over. Let's have a look. Nope, we're good. We're good. Transpennine Express and First on those signs. Some nice detail, isn't there, in the modelling? You know, on the canopies. Right, off we go. Ironside. With another missing viaduct. And this actually is quite famous, Ironside Viaduct. And yeah, I'm afraid it's one of the missing ones. You see this it's not quite an island, but it looks like it is. It's got a little road coming off. There's a house in the middle of there, and it looks like not like a castle, but it has that kind of theme. And I don't know if you remember it, Richie, from when you were there, but just poking out of these trees, you see kind of like not battlements, but that kind of shape building on the top. And it's a private house, and it's right in the middle of there. It's not. I don't think it's modelled in this. Let's have a quick look. See if there's. Try not to make you seasick, but you can see where you go. You drive out to it along this road. And right, let me just go up in the sky a little bit and have a look. Yeah, there's nothing there, but there is a house in the middle of there, a big thing, which I guess when the water comes in can be a bit grim. There's our train. On its way to Ironside. You walk through the bogs in the valleys. The furnace line would be wonderful in TSW. It would. And I think that the furnace line, obviously this, as I was saying, some of the guys from Just Trains are involved with on-track simulations that make this, and it would be a great route. We'll have to try and get Dovetail to twist their arms, I think, because I think a lot of people would enjoy this, even if you're not from this part of the world. One of the best things DRS ever did was run the 37s on the Cumbrian Coast. Exactly, and I've got a photograph. I need to put it up on the wall. I've got two photographs. I've got one of 37402, large logo like this, pulling the DRS coaches. Somewhere around this area, actually. It's a proper professional photograph that I got for my birthday last year. I got that, and I got the equivalent one off my mum, showing. It was a photograph that I took of it in Carnforth station, and my dad's on it as well. My dad's sat on the platform looking out at the train. Of course, my dad's not with us anymore, so that's quite a special photograph. So I've got one of the actual train, and I've got that one with my dad on. I need to put them up on the wall in this room. But I was saying at the beginning, Gilly, I did take a few runs up and down when these were running. It was just a few years ago, wasn't it? 2017, 18, I want to say. But yeah, pretty good. This is Ironside, by the way. Good chippy over there if you ever go to Ironside. There's a pub and a chippy next door. And here's the missing viaduct, so we'll just ignore that. And we need to slow down for the station. Once we've done our little magic carpet ride. You prefer the northern part? Yeah, the northern part would also be quite nice. I wonder if they'd simulate all the landslides and the bad weather. That'd be pretty good, wouldn't it? All around Whitehaven and up there. This is Ironside Station. Old railway, actually, let me pause it. You big railway fans will tell me, but you can tell here. See this going up here. This is another railway going off up there, and I saw a YouTube video about it. You can actually go on a walk. They made it into a footpath, and you can walk all the way along. I can't remember where it comes out, but it goes all the way up here. I think it was something to do with the old. I want to say it went off to some factory or something off up here, but I can't remember. Kendal. It may even gone to Kendal. I don't know. I'm not sure. It could be. But if you look it up, you guys that have got Wikipedia, what that line is that comes out of Ironside Station, it's a really good walk as I understand it, and from what I saw on YouTube, and I keep meaning to go up there and just do it, and I haven't done yet. I should do, so I'm going to make a point of doing that. But you can tell it was a railway. So this is Ironside. Oh, I'm actually missing a station building there as well. Look, there's a station building there. I'm missing. That's a shame. You like the missing viaducts? It makes it interesting. I will fix it. I just need to come into a bit of an inheritance first, I think. Ironside to Hincaster Railway. Thank you very much, Richie. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen... I think he's based in Blackpool. There's a YouTuber called Nodrog, which I think is Gordon, spelt backwards. And I think it was his video I watched, and he walked all the way down it. It was quite a good video. Took his packed lunch with him and went down there. And I kept meaning to do it, and I haven't done yet. It was a single track branch line. Was it industrial, or was it actually a passenger railway? Can't remember what he said. Connects to the West Coast Main Line, right? Yeah, it's coming back to me now. Yeah. Whereas now the only way you can get onto the West Coast Main Line is at either end, at Carnforth at one end, Carlisle at the other end. Right, Silverdale is next. So we're not far from the West Coast Main Line right now. We will come onto it at Carnforth. And then we should be able to thrash it down the main line. It was mainly for mine trains. Yeah, that's what I thought. I had a feeling it was industrial in some way. Closed in the 20s, did it? That far ago? Wow. That's the other thing about these train games, isn't it? And I think particularly this one, you often do go past places like that and you think, oh, wonder what that used to be. And then you can have a quick look and you actually learn something as well. So it's quite good. You know, because it's so realistic, I mean. Yeah, just take a look down there at the hood. Look at all the times we've got to sound the horn, because I think Silverdale is well known for walkers. There's a lot of crossings. Every time you catch the train up here, there's lots and lots of people with backpacks, and they all seem to get off by Ironside, generally. Silverdale is next. I don't know what these guys are doing. Look at these old cars. Little details like that, isn't it? Wonder if they do car rallies at Silverdale. Wonder if that's what that is. There'll be something. Lakeside and Haverfordwest line, all 3.2 miles as well. Off the left, yes, that's true. Oh, wow, Animal, you didn't need to do that. Animal donated £30 through Super Chat. Wow. Thank you very much, Animal. You, as Mr. Water says, you're a legend. Wow, thank you very, very much. You didn't need to, mate, honestly. But I really appreciate that. I'm going to assume you're enjoying the stream. Very generous. Very, very generous. I could go buy the route now. Thank you very much. So I will do that. I will do that. That's what I'll do. Thank you very much. Wow. Animal coming up with a big body dono there. Wow. No, seriously, thank you very much, Animal. You didn't need to. I do appreciate it. Carnforth is next. And then we're on the main line. And we'll give it a thrash. You love it that Tintin hasn't noticed yet. You can hear me, can't you? Or maybe you're slightly behind me. Maybe you're slightly behind. I'm going to assume you can still hear me. Just let me know. Just make sure that I'm still audible. Got me doubting now, Mr. Water. Oh, so you can hear me. Ah, right, okay. Good. I was worried for a minute. That's why I was frantically trying to type the off, but "and you not hear me?" I mean, can you not hear me? You may be slightly delayed. Right, this is Carnforth Station. Wow, that bus was going fast. Of course, we've got Steamtown there, over to the right. Very famous. So when I first worked at Carnforth, I was in these porter cabins on this side. In the top ones. And then they built the... they were building the new building in the car park of the station, which we'll have a look at as well. Yeah, as Gilly says, time for a brief encounter. Exactly. If you've not watched Brief Encounter, first of all, why not? And if you've not watched it for ages, go and watch it, because the clock is even depicted here as well. So that the clock is quite a famous scene in that film on the station. And as soon as I come to a stop, we'll take a look at it. I'm glad you could all hear me though. I was a bit worried for a minute when Mr. Water said that. I thought the sound had gone off. Right, let me just get the doors open. Let's go to the 8 camera. So that's the building where I used to work. Once it was built, I worked in this window right there. And this was actually the bottom was the rail freight building, and the top was the civil engineers in the middle of Carnforth itself. And then if you come down here, sorry if I'm making you a bit seasick, there's the famous clock, which you can see in the film, and also the cafe as well is in this building. If you've seen the film, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But the clock is very famous, yeah. Right, now then, before we go anywhere else, I'm going to do the GSMR. I should have done it earlier. It's 2C32 and signal 292. So let's give it a go. 2C32. So 2C32. What did I say the signal was? 292. I wish that worked in TSW. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't do much, but it's just a bit of, you know, it's a bit of immersion. But anyway, we are about to go onto the West Coast Main Line, which is what you can see over on the left there. So let's do it. Well, we've got 15 miles per hour out of Carnforth. And then we'll open it up as we come across Hess Bank and into Lancaster. I think those are the West Coast Railways carriages over there, aren't they, Dave, as well? Because these carriages that I've got, these Mark II, I think these are Mark II D to F, I think. So I had to buy them as well from Armstrong Powers. But I think those ones come as part of the pack as well. And for some reason, we've got a Virgin Trains 390 coming up, which is quite nice. So I don't know when this is set, this scenario, does it say? Doesn't say when it is. But of course, if you think about, like we were talking about, if it was 2017, 18, something around that, when these were running up and down, these DRS 37s, I guess Virgin was still around, weren't they? It wasn't quite Avanti then. The old and the new. Right. Lancaster's next. You're not encountering anyone in your briefs. I just saw that. That's brilliant. So this part of the route is obviously West Coast Main Line over Shapnel, which we've run a few times on stream, haven't we? We've done it in the Pendolino a couple of times, in the Avanti one. One of the other AP packs that I got was the Class 350 enhancement pack as well. And that comes with 3 scenarios actually that run between Preston and Carlisle, so they're quite nice. Transpennine 350s. You would have thought with TSW4 being the more up-to-date sim, nearly all the gadgets would work, but no. Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people don't like about it sometimes, especially if you're coming from TS Classic. Although, if you think about that as well though, all these gadgets that are working on here probably are only because I've got the enhanced versions, the AP stuff. The standard stuff, I don't think there's GSMR on any of the standard stuff in TS Classic that DTG have done. I think it's all, you have to have the Armstrong Powerhouse stuff for all that. We're running late as usual, but it doesn't really matter. It's been a good run. Just coming up to 2 hours. Time flies, doesn't seem like 2 hours at all. So hopefully you're all enjoying it. It's Hessbank crossing. Yeah, no GSMR working in the standard routes in TSC. Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it, really? Like I said, it doesn't do much, but it's just for the immersion, it's pretty good. And then, of course, the TSW... there's the line to Morecambe, by the way, going off up there. The TSW GSMR never really works, does it? I'm hoping that... You know, like, the basics of the GSMR is there, so I'm kind of hoping that in future there's some kind of blanket upgrade for anything that's got GSM-R, it suddenly will work. You know, I don't know, some kind of core technology they can put in that'll make it work. I don't know. I don't know how difficult that is to do. Right, we are approaching Lancaster. There's some bounce on this 37, isn't there? Bit of suspension going on with this. Let's hope things are different with TSW 2025. Yeah, the names have changed over the years, haven't they? I mean, the first one we had TSW 2020, didn't we? I think the first one was it just called TSW. Then we had 2020, I think. Then we had, what do we have after that? TSW 2, TSW 3, TSW 4. Welcome to Lancaster, everybody. Yeah, they need some serious work, don't they, Dave, really? It's kind of there, but it isn't. We're slightly short, but I don't mind. There's the castle on the hill. Lancaster's a bit quiet, isn't it? It's usually really busy up here. Off we go to Preston in 21 miles, just under 21 miles. Ah, yeah, there you go. I thought it went something like that. I just couldn't remember where the 2020 came in, or whether the first one was called 18. What's GSM-R? It is the Global System for Mobile Communication Railway or something like that. I think it kind of identifies your low code. So when you'll type in what, like you saw me type the service name, and then type the signal that you're at, and I think then the power box know that it's you. It's my basic understanding of it. Good evening, SNCF. How you doing? DSX Heavy Haul. Yeah, that was on PC first, wasn't it? I think that was on PC, wasn't it? A couple of months before the rest came out, and I think the consoles were. I think the consoles were end of July 2018. Invisible Man, thank you for the sub. Much appreciated. How you doing? You think you've got them all? Yeah, same here. There's only the first one that I got on disc. It's quite nostalgic, really. I've got the disc downstairs on the shelf. I don't always keep the physical copies of things, but I'm quite nostalgic about that one because I know when I picked it up and started playing it, I didn't know it would be the start of a several-year sort of, you know, hobby. I had no idea. I bet he knows Welsh as well, Farah. I think we got the Royal Mail train. 325 waiting for us. That is yet another AP enhancement that I've got. That's quite a nice unit actually, that. I quite enjoy driving that. How are we doing? 17.5 miles we've got. Oh, you're in Paris today. Next stop Chatham. What are you going to Chatham for then? Anything in particular? Are you still based around near me, SNCF, or have you gone back to France permanently? I wasn't sure if you were still in my neck of the woods. What's the top speed of this 37? It's about 75. Does it say anywhere? I'm used to it saying in TSW up here on the roof, but not sure. Oh, your dad was born in Chatham. I have been to Chatham, of course, as you all know. You've been back to France for a holiday, I got you. And GCSE results. Oh yeah, when are those? That's this week, is it? Is that this week? College results was last week. A levels, etc. So I assume GCSEs maybe this week. Fingers crossed for you then. It's too late now anyway, but I'm sure you did alright. If you did languages, that is. So if you're French, did it let you sit GCSE French, or is that like cheating? Is that getting like, you know, a straight A by cheating? Because when someone says, have you got 10 GCSEs, if you can do your own language one, then you know, that's an easy one. $80 was the max permitted speed, got it. To be honest, it's struggling to... it's on the flat as well, it's struggling to get going. That's 100% throttle. And we're hovering around 73, 74. Animal still got discs of every game you've bought back to the Mega Drive days. Have you got Altered Beast? That's what I want to know for the Mega Drive. Altered Beast. I spent hours playing that. Both GCSEs you've done. Wow. And you put the results in Discord. Yeah, if you want to share them. Yeah, you don't have to. But if you want to share them, that'll be good. Dave, you lived in Chatham and Gillingham when you worked on the railway, and your eldest daughter was born in Chatham. Ah, there you go. So many connections to Chatham. Strange, isn't it? Yeah, cartridges. Yeah, exactly. Cartridges used to push them in the top. Yeah, I used to like my Mega Drive. Yep, cheers SNCF, all the best. Hundreds of C90 pirated games. ZX Spectrum 128k. Yeah, 128k, that was the big memory model, wasn't it? Was that the one that had the built-in tape deck? I know we've talked about this before, but my my Amstrad C64 with the green screen, I think Farah used to have one of those, if I recall correctly. That had a built-in cassette. Oh, you're also posted in the Chatham Dockyard when you're in the Navy. It's now Dovetail HQ. Yeah, when I went, did I tell you when I went last year, I went on a tour of the Dockyard. It was pretty good. They've got destroyers in there and, like, you know, big cannons and God knows what else. And quite interesting. They've got lots of different lifeboats as well. They've got a lifeboat museum there, which I found quite interesting. I'm just going to save it because we haven't done it for a while. Yeah, 128k luxury, yeah. Estimate doing 48k. How times have changed there. Animal's still got a cassette player in his car. You haven't progressed to CD yet, and then MP3 will be in future years, will it? Animal. Oh dear. Oh, you had a colour monitor, Farrow. No, I was only able to have the green screen. Yes, it did. Yeah, if there was a kink in the tape or anything like that, you were knackered. Yeah. Yeah, they were the days, weren't they? Oh, 48k, you couldn't even... You couldn't do anything now with 48k, could you? Yeah, Altered Beast was good, that. And it'd shout, power up, and then he went into this massive beast. It was great. It's funny because I don't usually go for... Nowadays I wouldn't go for games like that, but I did when I was younger. I didn't mind it. Right, we got 7.3 miles to go. Nice and quiet on board. So I'm quite happy to do some more TS Classic sometime in amongst the other stuff. If you guys are happy to see it. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I just find it a little bit more relaxing than some other stuff, you know, which is a strange thing when all we do is drive trucks around and things. But I've got lots of routes that I've not even played yet, so some of them will be a first, I think. Right, I think this is Barton, where we are now. Indeed it is. I mean, some of the assets in this game, obviously you can, in TSW you can do a lot more. You'll see when we, just as we're coming into Preston, you'll see the big church, St Walburg's, and if you've got Blackpool branches, you can obviously see the same. You can see the same building, and the one in TSW looks pretty much spot on as to what it does in real life, whereas the one in TS Classic is a bit boxy. So there's certain things you can do in TSW that you can't in TS Classic, but you know, as far as this route goes, the whole route end to end, apart from those missing bits which animals helped me out with, I think it's a really nice route. Right, just under 3 miles. You prefer watching TSC than playing it myself? I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I quite obviously quite like playing it, but I can also watch people play it a lot as well. I'm gonna start slowing down because we're going past my old school, which means we're a couple of miles from the station. Truck doesn't have CD plates, all USB and Bluetooth. Oh, KH is back. Hello, KH. How you doing? You used to use a spool-to-spool tape machine, a Phillips. Wow. Yeah, that's going back as well, isn't it? So this is St Walburg's in front. So keep a picture of that in your mind, and then have a look at the Blackpool Branches one. Although in this route, it has been done up a little bit better. It does look better in this route. Probably slowed down a bit too severely there. Yeah, this is St Walburg's up here. Then of course the Blackpool Branches, which we all know and love, goes off up here, up this side. To be fair, we were due in at 9:32, and we're going to get in at, according to this, probably about 9:42 by the time we get in. So we haven't done that bad. Not to say it's been a 2.5 hour run. Hannibal had a twin spool when he was a kid. Preston to Blackpool is one of your favourites. Yeah, absolutely. It still is. It still is my favourite. Another Virgin Pendolino there, sat waiting. Let's not spad here, shall we? There we go. Quite a nice livery, that, isn't it? That Virgin livery. Do you know what? As well, the Avanti livery, I didn't really like. I thought it was a bit dull. You know, when it was first came out, I thought it looked a bit dull, but that's grown on me now. Virgin one's quite funky, really, isn't it? With the yellow and red and grey. Good run this morning, driver. This scenario will end shortly. Oh, there's the mail train coming through. Then it's time for a brew before your next turn. So there we go. Really enjoyed that. It says signal passed at danger once. When did I do that? When did I spad? I didn't spad, did I? 72 miles that was. 72 miles or 116 kilometres. So wasn't bad, was it? It was a good run. Thanks everybody for joining me. Appreciate it as always. Don't forget to tune in for Dovetail Direct tomorrow, 3 p.m. Then my video will be out at 4 p.m. almost immediately on the feed. If you want to catch up on that, see what I think, go through a few things. And if we can get live tomorrow night, we'll do that. We'll have a proper chat about it. And yeah, thank you very much, Animal, for that big 30 quid donation. I'm humbled with that, mate. Honestly, thank you very much for that. Yeah, thanks everybody, and have a good night. I'll probably speak to you tomorrow. All the best, guys. I'll see you later.